Well, good morning and welcome to the Hamilton Transit Center. My name is Hayden Atchison. I'm the President and General Manager of the Coast Mountain Bus Company. I would like to start by welcoming our guest behind me, John Yap, MLA for Richmond-Steveston, who's here on behalf of the Honourable Peter Fassbender, Minister of Community, Sport, Cultural Development, and the Minister responsible for TransLink. Mayor Jack Froese, Township of Langley, Ken Johnston, Councillor for the City of Richmond, and our own CEO at TransLink, Kevin Desmond. I would also like to welcome all of you for attending today's event. This is a special edition of the spring bus service changes. By rolling out phase one of our 10-year vision, many of these changes allow us to expand bus service to where our customers have told us they need it most. I would now like to invite Kevin Desmond, CEO, to speak.
Thank you, Hayden. Good morning as well, and also welcome to Hamilton Transit Center, and good morning to MLA Yap, Mayor Froese, and Councillor Johnston for joining us today to help announce this kickoff to the bus service improvements. And I want to start out by extending my gratitude, our gratitude, to our partners who are represented here today, the province of British Columbia and the township of Langley. These partnerships, of course, are absolutely key in delivering the transit and transportation improvements identified in the 10-year vision and providing a sustainable transportation network for people across Metro Vancouver. It's been quite a 3-month period for TransLink since the November 23rd approval by the Mayor's Council and our board of the first phase of our transit plan. It's the long-range plan to improve capacity and mobility in this region. And we're moving forward from words to action, and we're moving very, very quickly on that front. We're at the forefront of North American cities progressing major multimodal regional transportation infrastructure programs. Phase one helps to increase transit services and improve roads, cycling, and walking infrastructure throughout this region. Phase one is funded through investments from the federal and provincial governments and, very importantly, regional revenues, which is really what's funding these bus service improvements that we're talking about this morning. And, of course, that's the meat and potatoes, really, of TransLink and the people who use our system each and every day. And on April 24th, we'll deliver the first in a successive wave of bus service improvements as really the sort of the key to the early portions of the 10-year vision. The region-wide expansion includes 65,000 hours more service on some 26 routes. These changes will be implemented as part of our regular spring service change on April 24th. Our customers will see immediate benefits with shorter wait times, less crowding, and more service on these routes. Additional hours will also be added to bus routes in the Tri-City areas, which recently had the Evergreen extension opening in December, and then the major bus routes reconfiguration later on in December. We're making some improvements based on customer feedback. A lot has changed since that network change. We're seeing big ridership increases in the Tri-Cities, so we're moving forward with some improvements to routes that needed help after that restructuring. Also on April 24th, we implement our more normal seasonal changes to the bus network. We add more trips to the beach, and we put out our school service. Our customers can begin to plan for their new service that starts April 24th. They can start planning today on TransLink's Trip Planner. And watch out for this community bus, this beautiful community bus that we bring to outreach events throughout the region, as we'll be having street teamers going out and talking to the public about the improvements coming forward. All of the service change information can be found on our website at translink.ca/service changes. Now, looking ahead, this is a very exciting time for TransLink in the entire region. As part of phase one of the 10-year transportation vision, we started rolling out service enhancements as part of the first major investment in transit and transportation in almost a decade. You know, and very importantly, and I'm very proud of this at TransLink, as well as our policymakers at the Mayor's Council, We've been rolling out service improvements since January. We launched SkyTrain, Canada Line improvements, C-Bus improvements, Handy Dart service increase, and now these bus improvements, even before we started collecting new revenues to finance the plan. So we're really out there. We're trying to meet the needs of our customers as quickly and as effectively as possible. And that can't come at a better time. We ended last year with record ridership at TransLink, about 385 million boardings on all of our services last year, at about a 4.5% increase in ridership. So the demand is there, and we need to meet that demand with additional services. Now, last week, we had a really good announcement from the federal government of a commitment, a historic commitment of $2.2 billion towards the major infrastructure improvements in the mayor's plan. And just this morning, perhaps stealing a little bit of our thunder on this morning's announcement, the province, led by Minister Fassbender, announced that they will be matching that $2 billion from the federal government. So we are now seeing the reality really in front of us, and you might hear from Mayor Froese a little bit more on that as well, that our infrastructure programs are going to move forward. We have work to do in the region. The Mayor's Council and the board will ultimately have to come up with the regional funding to make it a reality, but the momentum is there. There's no doubt about it. But those projects are still years away. And in the meantime, we've got to be adding bus service. And this announcement today in the April 24th first round of bus service improvements is absolutely critical to keeping the region moving. And these bus service improvements that in April will be followed very shortly by additional improvements in June, additional improvements in September, and then through 2018 and 2019 as well. So stay tuned for more announcements of improved service in the months ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I'd like to invite Mayor Froese to the podium.
Well, thank you very much. Pretty exciting day for transportation in our Metro Vancouver region. It's great to be here this morning, and I'm really happy about all of these exciting announcements. Having reliable, efficient transportation options in place so that people can get to work, access services, and do all the things that they need to do in life is so important to people in all of our communities. Metro Vancouver is growing, welcoming thousands of more residents every year. And south of the Fraser, the township of Langley expects to see the population double over the next 20 to 30 years. It's vital that our region has a dependable, convenient transit plan in place to accommodate everyone in the future. But there are so many residents who want to need enhanced bus service right now. That's why we're so pleased to see that these bus enhancements are being put in place by TransLink this April during the 2017 spring service changes. A lot of work went into creating the Mayor's Council's vision for the 20-year transportation plan, or 10-year transportation plan. Phase 1 of that plan was approved last year, and it's really exciting to see that the first round of these services are now being put in place. It's going to benefit commuters, and it's going to have a very positive impact on all of our communities in the region. And now, hearing this announcement this morning of $2.2 billion and the announcement last week of $2.2 billion from our partners in the federal government, we know that the many, many more improvements are going to be coming over the next 3 years, the next 10 years, and then on into the future. By extending bus service hours, we are reducing wait times and overcrowding on 26 routes across the region. In the township of Langley, we'll see increased weekly service during peak times on the 555 between Carvault Exchange and Lougheed Station, increasing service on the 501 and 502 to Surrey Central, Langley Central, as well as a new late-night service. That means a lot more frequent connections to SkyTrain, enhanced options that will work for resident schedules, and a great incentive for people to use transit as a convenient and more environmentally friendly way to travel. This is a wonderful start to a vision that will have huge impact on the way that the public moves throughout the region, and we encourage people to get on the bus and try it and make using transit part of their lives. So thank you very much, and I'm going to look forward to it. I know our residents in Langley have been asking for more bus service, and today is an announcement, April 24th, it happens, and the Mayor's vision is beginning. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Froese. I'd like to ask John Yap to join us, MLA for Richmond-Stevenson, on behalf of the Honourable Peter Fassbender.
Thank you, Hayden. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to first of all acknowledge that we're on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish people. It's an honor to be here on behalf of Minister Fassbender, Minister responsible for TransLink, and I'm really pleased to join Mayor Froese from the Township of Langley, and also, of course, TransLink CEO Kevin Desmond, to celebrate important bus service improvements that will take place in just a few weeks. With an additional 65,000 more bus service hours and improvements to 25 routes, these upcoming enhancements will benefit transit riders across Metro Vancouver. And were made possible because of the hard work, commitment, and collaboration between the federal and provincial governments, the Mayor's Council, and TransLink to implement Phase 1 of the Mayor's 10-year plan. Last May, the province was pleased to commit almost $250 million, $246 million, to the capital cost of important Phase 1 projects, including the purchase of new SkyTrain cars, a new C-bus, and upgrades to bus and SkyTrain stations and exchanges. As you know, this commitment is part of a collective $2 billion Phase 1 package of important investments in transit in the region. Since TransLink's Phase 1 investment plan was approved last fall, work has been undertaken to get improvement projects underway as quickly as possible. In December, we were pleased to join our partners in announcing the purchase of 28 new SkyTrain cars for the Expo and Millennium lines, which will help to increase capacity frequency. In January, TransLink implemented important SkyTrain and C-bus service improvements to reduce wait times and overcrowding. In February, TransLink announced 85,500 more Handy-Dart trips for 2017, which means greater availability when booking trips. And the upcoming bus service enhancements that we're announcing today are the latest. Over the coming weeks, months, and years, even more Phase 1 service enhancements and infrastructure projects will be announced, including improvements to the region's major roads networks and cycling and pedestrian systems. All of these projects will help to improve transit and transportation in Metro Vancouver and the overall livability of our region. And one can't forget the role of the Evergreen extension in helping to achieve these objectives. Evergreen has proven to be a popular mode of transportation between Coquitlam, Port Moody, Burnaby, and Vancouver, allowing commuters to leave their cars at home. And as Kevin mentioned, the upcoming bus service improvements are an integral part of the additional service options that the Evergreen extension offers, and will reduce wait times and provide many commuters with quick and efficient connections for those who rely on both the bus and Evergreen extension for their commute. The Evergreen extension has been an exciting addition to our SkyTrain system, which is now the longest automated rapid transit system in the world, and the province looks forward to new rapid transit projects in both Vancouver and Surrey in the coming years. And speaking of which, last week, the Trudeau government announced approximately $2.2 billion over 11 years for Metro Vancouver transit projects. And as you've heard, the exciting news from Minister Fassbender, who announced that we are matching dollar for dollar the federal government's 11-year commitment of $2.2 billion to invest in new projects, including rapid transit projects in Surrey and Vancouver. That's $4.4 billion in senior government funding now committed. $4.4 billion. The region is now in a great position to make real progress on Metro Vancouver's transit priorities. With this historic level of funding commitments from senior levels of government for Phase 2, the province is committed to continuing to work with all of our partners to finalize important details about these new rapid transit and other projects so that we can move forward and get shovels in the ground as quickly as possible. We want to make it easier and faster for people to move around the region, to work, to school, to connect with family and friends. With these investments, we will make it easier for more people to choose to leave their cars at home and to opt for reliable and convenient public transit instead. This will help our collective goals of creating livable communities in the region, ones that are interconnected and sustainable. I'm confident that together, through continued hard work and collaboration, Metro Vancouver will remain one of the most desirable places to live in the world. So let me conclude by saying that successful communities need strong economies. Having built a strong economy for British Columbia is a key hallmark of our government. BC has Canada's best fiscal record with a AAA credit rating, and in February we introduced BC's 5th consecutive balanced budget, one that delivers more money to the hard-working taxpayers of the province while enabling our government to continue investing in the things that matter to British Columbians. By keeping BC's fiscal house in order through controlled spending and job creation, we're able to invest in the priorities that matter to British Columbians, including transit improvements in Metro Vancouver. The investments we make in transit are key to the growth of livable communities and helping to advance our economic, social, and climate objectives. Together with our partners, the federal government, the Mayor's Council, and TransLink, we will continue to invest in important transit projects that serve the needs of our region. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. I'd like to invite the speakers to the podium. For the last part of our program, I'd like to introduce Chris Bryan, who's our Senior Media Relations Advisor for TransLink. We'll have a brief question and answer session. Chris?
Thank you. So we'll just have a little Q&A, and if you can just indicate your question and who you would like to address it to. If we can keep it focused on this event today first, and if you have questions about other issues, we'll proceed with that after this Q&A. So anybody have any questions?
Covered everything so well.
Fantastic. Okay. About anything else? All right. Thank you very much.